Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and today we have an exciting and super helpful episode for you. If you've ever wondered how to speak English fluently and naturally, you're in the right place.
That's right, Jason. I'm Julia, your co-host, and today we're going to break down the secrets of fluency. Many English learners struggle with speaking confidently, and we totally understand why. Maybe you know a lot of words but hesitate when speaking, or maybe you feel nervous about making mistakes.
Exactly. But don't worry, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being able to express yourself clearly and naturally.
In this episode, we'll share powerful techniques, daily habits, and tips to help you speak English with confidence. And stay with us till the end because we're also going to bust some fluency myths and give you a simple daily routine that can make a huge difference in your speaking skills.
So whether you're a beginner or already learning English, this episode is for you. Get ready to boost your fluency, and let's dive in. Understanding fluency. All right, before we talk about how to become fluent, let's clear something up. What does fluent English really mean? A lot of learners think fluency means speaking super fast, like a native speaker. But is that true?
Great question, Jason. Many people believe fluency is all about speed, but that's actually a myth. Fluency isn't about speaking fast. It's about speaking smoothly and naturally, without too much hesitation.
Right. So if someone pauses to think about a word or corrects themselves, does that mean they aren't fluent?
Not at all. Even native speakers pause, rephrase sentences, and sometimes struggle to find the right words. Fluency just means you can communicate your thoughts clearly and keep the conversation going without getting stuck too often.
That makes sense. So, fluency is more about communication and flow, not perfection. I think many learners also believe that fluency means knowing every single word in English. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's another big myth. You don't need a massive vocabulary to be fluent. Think about how kids learn their first language. They don't start with difficult words, but they communicate fluently with what they know. The key is to learn useful phrases and expressions instead of just memorizing long vocabulary lists.
Exactly. So, to sum it up, fluency is about speaking comfortably and confidently, not perfectly or super fast. It's about using the words you already know in a smooth way. And guess what? You don't have to sound exactly like a native speaker to be fluent. Your goal should be clear and natural communication, not having a 100% native accent. And small mistakes? They don't matter, as long as people understand you.
Absolutely. Now that we understand what fluency really means, let's move on to some common myths about fluency and why they're stopping people from improving.
Right. So, Julia, what's the first big myth you've heard?
Oh, I hear this one all the time. You need to know all the grammar rules to be fluent. Many learners think they must master every tense, every rule, and every exception before they can speak confidently. But that's not true at all.
Absolutely. If you focus too much on grammar, you might end up overthinking before you speak. Even native speakers don't follow every grammar rule perfectly in daily conversations.
Exactly. Instead of worrying about grammar, learners should focus on expressing their ideas clearly. You can always improve your grammar over time, but don't let it stop you from speaking.
Great point. Okay, here's another common myth. You must have a native speaking partner to become fluent. What do you think about that, Julia?
Oh, I love this one. Of course, speaking with a native speaker can help, but it's not the only way to improve fluency.
That's so true. There are many ways to practice speaking, like self-talk, practicing by speaking to yourself, shadowing, repeating after native speakers, speaking with other learners. Conversation doesn't have to be with a native speaker. And don't forget, there are so many online resources where you can listen to real English conversations.
So if you don't have a native speaker to practice with, don't worry, just create your own speaking opportunities. And later in this episode, we'll share more ways to do that.
Okay, next myth. Fluency means making 0 mistakes. This one stops a lot of learners from speaking because they're afraid of getting things wrong. And that fear can really slow down progress.
Exactly. But here's the truth. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. Even fluent speakers and native speakers make mistakes. They just keep going and correct themselves naturally.
Right? So don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back. If you're communicating, you're learning, and that's what matters most. If you wait until you can speak perfectly, you'll never start speaking at all. The key is to communicate, not to be perfect.
Yes. And here's one last myth. You must speak fast to be fluent. A lot of learners think speaking quickly makes them sound more advanced, but that's not true.
Right? Fluency is about smoothness, not speed. Some of the best English speakers talk clearly and at a natural pace. Rushing can actually make your speech harder to understand.
So true. The best way to sound fluent is to speak clearly, naturally, confidently, not as fast as possible.
Exactly. So let's quickly recap. Fluency is not about knowing every grammar rule, talking to a native speaker, speaking without mistakes, speaking super fast. Fluency is about communicating naturally, speaking confidently. And now that we've cleared up these myths, let's move on to the next big question. What are the key skills you need to develop fluency? Stay with us.
Now that we've busted some fluency myths, let's talk about something really important. The key skills you need to develop fluency. Jason, what's the first skill every English learner should focus on?
Great question, Julia. The first and most important skill is active listening. If you want to speak fluently, you need to listen to how English is spoken in real conversations. The more you listen, the more natural your speaking will become.
That makes a lot of sense. So, listening is not just about understanding. It's about absorbing the way native speakers use words and phrases, pronounce sentences naturally, connect words smoothly.
A great way to practice is by listening to podcasts like this one, watching English movies, following YouTube videos with subtitles. The key is to listen actively. Pay attention to how words connect, how intonation changes, how pauses are used in speech.
That's a great tip.
All right, here's another key skill: thinking in English. Many learners translate from their native language before speaking, and that slows them down.
Oh yes. If you always translate in your head, it takes too much time and you'll feel stuck. Instead, train your brain to think directly in English. A simple way to do this? Describe what you see around you in English.
That's a great exercise. For example, if you're walking down the street, you can think, "The weather is sunny today. I see a red car passing by." This helps your brain get used to English without translating. The more you do this, the more natural English will feel when you speak. All right, let's talk about another important skill: speaking without fear of mistakes. This is a big one because many learners feel nervous when they talk.
Yes, but remember, fluency doesn't mean perfection. The more you practice speaking, the more confident you become. The key is to keep talking, even if you make mistakes.
That's true. A great way to practice is by using shadowing. What is shadowing? You listen to a native speaker. You repeat what they say. You try to match their tone and rhythm.
Shadowing is an amazing technique. It helps with pronunciation rhythm, confidence. And the best part? You don't even need a partner. You can practice anytime, anywhere.
Love it. Now here's another important skill: using simple and natural phrases instead of trying to sound too complex.
Yes, many learners try to use difficult words, but fluency is about clear communication, simple, natural expressions. Native speakers often use simple, everyday phrases, and that's what learners should focus on too.
Right. Instead of saying, I am experiencing a state of exhaustion, just say, I'm really tired. Simple, clear, and fluent.
That's a perfect example.
And here's one last key skill. Practicing every day, even for a few minutes.
Yes, fluency is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Absolutely. So let's quickly recap. Fluency skills include active listening, thinking in English, speaking without fear, shadowing using simple phrases, practicing daily.
Just 10 to 15 minutes of speaking practice daily can make a huge difference over time. And next, we'll share powerful techniques you can start using today to practice and improve your fluency faster.
All right, now that we've talked about the key skills for fluency, let's move on to something really exciting. Practical techniques that will help you speak English more fluently. Julia, what's the first technique you recommend?
One of the best techniques is shadowing. We mentioned it earlier, but let's explain it in detail. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker, maybe from a podcast, movie, YouTube video, and you repeat what they say immediately, trying to match their pronunciation, rhythm.
That's a fantastic exercise. And the best part? You don't need a conversation partner. You can practice alone, anytime, anywhere. Shadowing helps improve your pronunciation speed, confidence. And if you do this daily for just 10 minutes, you'll see amazing progress.
Love that. Okay, here's another powerful technique. Self-talk. Many learners don't practice because they don't have a partner. But guess what? You can actually talk to yourself in English.
Oh yes, self-talk is a great way to practice thinking in English speaking naturally. You can describe what you're doing, like, I need to go to the store. Later, I'm making coffee. Or even have mini conversations with yourself.
That's a great tip. Yes. For example, instead of saying, I went to the park. I went to the park this morning. The weather was sunny and I saw children playing on the swings. Adding details helps you think in English, express yourself better. Let's talk about a really fun technique, role-playing. This is where you act out real-life situations like ordering food at a restaurant, introducing yourself at a meeting.
Another awesome technique is storytelling. Instead of just answering with short sentences, try explaining things in detail. That's a great way to build fluency. You can find common conversation scripts online, or just imagine a situation and practice speaking aloud.
Even better, you can record yourself and listen to how you sound. Speaking of recording, another great technique is recording yourself speaking. It might feel a little strange at first, but when you listen back, you can hear where you need to improve, how your pronunciation sounds.
Fluency takes time, but every step you take brings you closer. Be patient, enjoy the process, and trust that you're improving every day.
That's so true. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be confident. Mistakes are proof that you're learning.
Absolutely. Also, surround yourself with English. Listen to music. Watch movies. Talk to people whenever you can. Make English a part of your daily life.
Exactly. So to everyone listening, you can do this. Stay consistent. Keep practicing. Fluency will come. We believe in you. Learning together makes the journey more fun and motivating. And let us know in the comments. What's your biggest challenge in speaking English?
Yes. And if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to Subscribe for more English learning tips. Share this episode with a friend who wants to improve their English. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.